She stood there alone, small, and trembling inside $1 million office that had never welcomed someone like her. A little black girl with a backpack and a crayon drawing, asking the unthinkable. Employees stared. Security stepped forward, but she didn't flinch. Her voice, soft but steady, shattered the room's silence. What she wanted couldn't be bought, yet she came anyway. What followed exposed not just a company, but a country's quiet cruelty. This is the story of a question no child should ever have to ask. Welcome, story lovers. Where are you watching from? Comment your every morning. 7-year-old Amara stood by the school gate, clutching her lunchbox tighter than her classmates did their phones. She wasn't waiting for a ride, she was waiting for a moment that never came. Raised by her grandmother in a worn-out neighborhood on the edge of the city, Amara had learned early how to fold her pain into drawings and daydreams. Her notebooks were filled with happy families, dads pushing swings, holding tiny hands, showing up. At school, she laughed a little too loudly and stared a little too long at other kids during parent pickup. She never said it out loud, but deep down, Amara had a plan. One that seemed childish until the day she actually did it. The morning she walked into the towering glass building downtown, alone, determined, and heartbreakingly polite, was the day a guarded CEO's world shattered in silence. The receptionist barely glanced up when Amara pushed open the heavy glass door. Her pink backpack hung awkwardly off one shoulder, and her shoes made soft squeaks on the polished marble floor. "I need to talk to the boss," she said gently, not realizing this was the kind of place where kids weren't supposed to come alone, not little black girls from Eastridge. Security was called before anyone asked her name. She waited quietly in the lobby, swinging her legs as people walked by with judgment in their eyes, some puzzled, others annoyed. It wasn't the first time Amara had felt invisible, but it was the first time she'd felt unwelcome for simply being small, hopeful, and black. An assistant tried to usher her out, but something in her voice made the CEO pause as he walked by. "I need to buy a dad," she repeated softly, holding up her crayon drawing of a happy family. Hers had a blank space where the father should be. The man froze. The moment rippled through the office like a silent explosion. But it wasn't just her request that broke something open. It was who she was, where she came from, and what she represented. His staff murmured about how she got in. Someone questioned her clothing. Another laughed under their breath. No one asked why she came. No one, except the CEO whose own past had stayed buried under decades of silence. And Amara, she just sat, waiting for something more than sympathy. CEO knelt in front of Amara, her drawing still trembling in his hands. "Where's your father, sweetheart?" he asked. Her answer was a whisper. "He was taken by men who said he looked suspicious." The room fell silent. She wasn't here to beg, she was searching for someone who wouldn't vanish because of his skin. And just then, a security guard stepped in, eyeing her like a threat. "She needs to leave. This isn't a shelter," he snapped. The CEO stood up slowly, his jaw clenched. Everyone watched. No one moved. For Amara, it was just another door closing. But for him, it was a mirror, one that forced him to face a past he'd buried under suits and silence. Would he send her away, or finally confront the system he once benefited from? Dear audience, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to give it a like. It really helps. The CEO canceled his meetings that day. He sat with Amara, listened to every word, then drove her home himself. But the real change didn't happen in his office, it happened in his heart. Her question echoed louder than any boardroom pitch. Why is a father something a little black girl has to shop for? That day, he launched a foundation in her father's name, aimed at supporting wrongfully targeted black men and their families. Amara didn't get her dad back, but her voice, brave and clear, sparked a movement in places where silence had ruled for too long. Because racism doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers through locked doors and dismissed children. So we ask, how many more Amaras will it take to make the world care? Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel for more powerful stories and new videos.